Good afternoon, guys. Today I'll explain how we can optimize our AWS cost, and which is an essential part of our DevOps domain. So basically, what is the cost optimization? So the cost optimization is the practice in which we can manage all our cloud resources like EC2, S3 buckets, RDS databases, different net gateways, and different things, so that we can reduce our unnecessary spending while maintaining the performance and reliability as well. So DevOps teams play a key role in that. So this PPT is all about how we can reduce that. So why cost optimization matters for the for organizations. So as our organization grow, cloud cost also grows rapidly without any proper control over that. And if we do not place any kind of restrictions, any policies on that, it will grow exponentially. So what AWS provides is as pay as you go model, which also requires continuous monitoring. So for that, we can unused or over provision resources increase our bill. Like if we have an EC2 and we have forgot to, you know, terminate that instance, and that instance is now we are anyone of the team is not using, and it's still pending and running there. So it will increase our overall cost of AWS resources. So cost optimizations also improves financial accountability, if we see in terms of our organization, and it also enables teams to scale sustainable without surprises. Like we can, if we have a look on this, we can move further with a good cause. So these are some of the core or the AWS cost optimizations principle. So the first thing is the right sizing. We have to match the actual resource size to the actual workload needs. Like if our app it needs at least 4 cores and 8 GB of RAM, and we are providing it more, so then totally a wastage of resource. So we must comply with our workload and choose according to what our application needs. So the second thing is elasticity. Elasticity is something like we can scale up our resources up and down automatically. So this we can do with the, we all know that there are ALBs, elastic load balancers, Amazon load balancers. So we can do with that. Like whenever there is a high spike, we can increase our EC2s to serve the request faster. And when we have the requests are less, we can scale them down those resources and use optimize the cost. So the third one is pay only what you use. So yeah, that's the main thing. Not rebooting, starting a lot of instances which are, we are not using them, then no need to provision a lot of EC2s on the AWS side. So automation is the fourth one. So we can schedule the start stop for non-production systems. Like if a EC2 is not running for more than 1 week, we can automatically make a policy to terminate that. The last one is the visibility. We can track our usages and spending continuously. We have AWS, there is a resource manager in AWS itself, which gives us the ability to track everything. So these are some of the cost optimization domains, areas we can we can use cost optimization in these different resources. So the first one is compute. So we all know that we have EC2s and ECS, Elastic Containers Services, EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. So we can, first thing is we can use the appropriate instance type. Like if our app needs T2 and we are giving it more power and more resources, then it's totally a wastage of resources. And we can also reserve instances if we need them for a longer period of time. So reserve instances has a less cost as compared with the own spot instances. So we can also do that. The next resources is the storage, the S3, and the EBS elastic block storage, which is by default get attached with whenever we provision a new EC2 server. So we can remove unused volumes and snapshots. Like if we have a policy of taking backups of our EBS volumes weekly and store them in S3. So we can in S3s we can also make policies like we can make policies like our if a snapshot is old and gets 6 months old, so we can move that snapshot to Glacier is another storage services provided by AWS. So we can move those snapshots to Glacier, which is less cost optimized. The Glacier's cost is very low. And after Glacier, there is another storage option which is provided by AWS is archived storage, which use disk magnets like the previous ones, which cost nothing to store data. So we can plan according to our. We can make a detailed plan of that how we wanna move those snapshots or different type of backups, the different backups of logs. We can move them to we can make policies for you for that. So databases. So if we are using in our organization, if we are using RDS, so we have to specific stick to a particular number of things. Like if we need multiple availability zones, AZ zones, if we need the proper size of the database, and if our database like we need something 10 GB of spaces, then we do not give some extra resources to that database on the RDS. Like if we are giving 20 GB or 50 GB on the RDS, then it's again is a wastage of resources. So the last one is networking, monitor data transfer, and NAT gateway costs. So AWS sometimes provides free these networking course, but sometimes it's also charges for that. So we have a eye on that as well. So these are the tools which we can use to optimize cost. So the first one is AWS Cost Explorer, which will automatically analyze and which give us a detailed visual view of our spending on which resources we are spending. The next one is AWS Budget. So it is used to set alerts for our cost thresholds. Like we can, set a limit, the threshold limit. If our resources are using above that, so we'll get a notification automatically on our configured emails or whatever we are using in our organization, Slack, etc. So the third one is CloudWatch, which is I guess the most popular one. So CloudWatch monitors our resources and everything related to our, the performance, the CPU uses, the network uses, and the peak performance trends. So CloudWatch is something like same like we are using Grafana and Prometheus. So CloudWatch is the same thing. Infrastructure as a code. So another thing is like we can use these IAC tools like Terraform and Ansibles, uh, so so that we can avoid this manual provisioning of servers, and we can automatically provision multiple servers using this infrastructure as a tools. Auto scaling is the another thing. So we can we can set different parameters to automatically adjust in our capacity automatically based on the demand of our application. Yeah, so we can in the last slide, it's the summary part. Tag resources for cost tracking and ownership. We can tag different resources. AWS provides us that ability to track to tag resources. So we can have a look on like who is owner of that particular resource. We must have a regular, I mean, look of all our resources, uh, which is used by our application. We can also delete the unused resources. I mean, we have a daily check on that. So the third one is use lower cost environment. So for dev and testing, yeah. So this is the main point. Like if we have multiple environments, so for development and testing, we must first need to stick to that. Like we are using like low resources, which is not costing us more. Like for the productions, we know that there are a lot of clients, lot of people who are using our application, so we need to make it high resources. But for development and testing, we know that we as a team are only the responsible persons. We are using that, so we can use a low resources on that, like a low, like not getting much space to that EC2 we can take. So the last one is automate shutdown of ideal resources. We AWS provides us this ability to automatically shut down our resources which are not used frequently, or we have set that limit. Like if EC2 is not consumed by any of the application, any of the other resources, so it will get automatically terminated from the environment. We can use that. So yeah, thank you.